I have a question from chapter 20, verse 23, 24.
Chapter 20, 23.
Chapter 20, verse 23, 24.
I enjoy this very much, eh? Right.
Yeah. So this is verse 23 and 24 from Surah Taha, which is chapter number 20 of the Holy Quran. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Wadmum yadaka ila janahika takhruj bayza min ghayri su'in ayatan ukhra linuriyaka min ayatin al-kubra. And draw your hand closer under thy armpit. It shall come forth white, without any disease, another sign, that we may show thee some of our greater signs.
What is the explanation of تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء آية أخرى?
But first of all, what is the explanation of the armpit? While in other places the word jab is used, which is not armpit. Tell me, what's the explanation of that?
I don't know.
So you should have asked that question first. Right? You see, this is a very interesting verse of the Quran which I have explained before. And to my knowledge, this subject has not been taken up by previous commentators at all. Scientifically, it can be proved that the Quranic version was essential for making the people of Pharaoh to believe that it is a sign from God and not a trick. See, if Moses had inserted his arm in his hand, in his jab, in front of the shirt, of course it can be understood to have reached the armpit as well. So there are not two contradictions, in fact. They do not contradict each other. He did not take his shirt off to reach his armpit, but he inserted his hand right from the jab here and extended it to his armpit. Correct? Now the real question which you should have asked was that if he did so, if he had applied something in the armpit which could change the color temporarily, some phosphorescent agent which could enlighten the hand, like you rub something phosphorescent on your face and it will begin to shine, then either it should have faded out by itself while it was outside, or it had been recharged when he reinserted his hand again. But why off and on? Why once he puts his hand in, it becomes phosphorescent and begins to scintillate or light up when he draws his hand. And it remains so without fading out until he reinserts his hand and the same agent extinguishes it instead of lighting it up again. See? So this was the sign which must have amazed people. Or they may have started searching him, what is he hiding inside. That showed that the second insertion was essential to prove it finally that it was from God, it was a miracle, and it was not a manly trick, a man-made trick. Right? Now, have I answered your query in this as well? Right? Good. Please. Now there is another question of Murari Soin. That was the thing which you pinpointed, in fact. In relation to this, the complexion of Moses has to be settled once and for all. The Europeans present him as a black man of Africa. And this is what all their pictures show. Moses leading the armies of black people and so on and so forth, is all absolutely false. He belonged to the house of Israel, and as such his complexion was that of Israelites, which is a complexion certainly not that of the black people. It is fairish in color, maybe palish or maybe reddish, whatever it is definitely fairish, and reddish in the sense not red altogether but shining bright, as Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Jesus in his vision. It was, like a zut, a color which is that of wheat, but also it is filled with blood and is reddish wheat color. There is a description found in a hadith of Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. So because both belong to the same blood, which still exists in the Middle East, and we know it is not blackish, so all their concept of the blackness of Moses is based on some misinterpretation of the Bible or some misstatement of the scribes of Bible. This should be settled. So it was not a black hand which was turned out and was Vera sewing. It was the hand of an Israelite, which was fair of color. But it did not have the effect of something which had changed the color without suiting it. Like sometimes the hands of people who suffer from leukoderma are changed in their complexion. So that is one thing which the Holy Quran points out specifically, that it was not because of any disease that the hand looked different. But when you come to this, another question arises automatically. If the hand was reinserted in his armpit and came out without any sign, how could it be a disease like leukoderma, which does not disappear? Understand? So apparently people interpret this verse as denying the existence of leukoderma. But that question should not have raised at all, should not have been raised at all. Because according to the account of the Holy Quran, when he reinserted his hand, if it was leukoderma disappeared altogether. So min ghairi su'in must refer to something else. Now when a hand is artificially brightened by some agents, then it shows that su, which the Holy Quran denies, rejects altogether. If you rub something on your hand and make it brighten or fluorescent in dim light, you see that's something unreal, can be witnessed by people. It doesn't look nice at all. But his hand looked nice all the time, because it had a halo of spirituality about it, a halo of God's sign. So that is why ghaira su'in is added. So a hand which did not indicate the presence of any fluorescent agent within the armpit. So this was out of question anyway. But when he reinserted the hand in the same place and took it out, that halo was gone. So that showed it was not an artificial attempt to cheat the people like some magicians do with the help of some chemical agents. So min ghairi su'in is a rejection of the presence of a chemical agent, I think. Right? Is this the question you wanted to find out?